All right, hello and welcome to yet another trading week. This week seems to be promising, but it seems majority of what we'll be concentrating on for this week will be coming from the American dollar axis, because most of those pairs that are trading around their key levels of support and resistance are just around the American dollar pairs. Okay, most of those pairs trading around key levels of support and resistance are basically American dollar crosses. Welcome, James. Last week was a bit of a difficult trading week because price was a bit mixed, very slow, and towards the end of the week we saw extreme volatility, most of which wasn't in our very correct directions. Okay, well, we are still looking into the American dollar pairs for this week. Hopefully we are going to be finding some more profitable trading opportunities in the days ahead. All right, let's begin this live session. If you are watching via the YouTube direct link, please feel free to ask your questions, discuss what you have seen in the chat on the YouTube live chat window, and if you are watching the live trading room, feel absolutely free to also drop your comments there. All will be responded to. All right, looking into the Forex Factory economical calendar for this week, this trading week, we have quite a lot coming up, and as usual it seems it's going to be a slowly crawling week from the beginning, because we have FOMC on Friday, unemployment data coming from the Canadian dollar and American dollar axis. Sorry, I mean NFP, not FOMC this time round. NFP data will be released cutting across American dollar and Canadian dollar axis. All right, on Friday. Usually this news announcement slows down the market a bit. You might see some crawly price behavior from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we'll begin to see some action on Friday. Again, we have the FOMC meeting minute will be released on Thursday. This one here might also, or usually slows the market in the early days of the week. That's from Monday to Wednesday. We might see some crawly price behavior within that time that prices isn't really moving very actively. As a price action traders, you have to stay away from the chart, rest your nerves, and wait until price comes alive. Okay, all right, aside from that, we have other heavyweight news announcement like the interest rate announcement that will be released, cutting across Australian dollar crosses on that's the rate statement itself will be released on Tuesday. You have to pay attention to that, and also which other one? Okay, the FOMC and the NFP. Other ones are still important. They are very high impact news events, but the most heavyweight are the interest rate, the FOMC, and the unemployment and employment data. In other words, NFP. All right, let's move into the charts and conduct our analysis straight on those pairs that we have listed, and in that order. All right, first looking into the euro against the American dollar. This is the monthly time frame. Let's conduct a fresh analysis here so we can get a clearer picture of what has been going on. The month of June has just come to an end, and so the monthly candles are now closed. As a trader, you need to look into the monthly time frame at the end of every month to see the type of price action that you had closed for that month. So for the month of June closed in the euro against the American dollar, we saw a doji right there. That's a sign of hesitation, a sign of indecision. For the whole of that month, it was an equal fight between the bulls and the bears, and so price opened almost at the same level, came back to close almost at the same level. The bears were not able to push price down. The bulls couldn't allow them keep price to the downside. Okay, all right, so now let's draw our technical levels of support and resistance. That is the key of every trading. Just draw your key levels of support and resistance if you're a price action trader, and let price bank off those levels. Okay, let me draw that trend line from this high. Let me take it from here. That's the normal chart zoom level, so I wouldn't want to zoom in the chart further. I'm going to change the color of that line to pink or magenta, whatever it is. Okay, so that's a key level of resistance. Price has been respecting that level in the monthly time frame, and next time it went close to that point, you can see how it was resisted. Any other key level of support or resistance? Well, we can keep this one. Let me keep this one here. This is an area. Then we have this area here. It doesn't quite belong to the monthly time frame. It belongs to the weekly time frame because it's just still very insignificant in the monthly time frame. Okay, now let's move on to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, drawing key levels of support and resistance. We can see this one here, all right, which is currently being retested, acted as a resistance there. So let's draw that level. So that means the price has been trading around the support level. Change that to blue. Whenever I say blue color, I know it is coming from the weekly time frame. So it was resistance, support, and now acting as support. You can see how price has been respecting that level. Unfortunately, most traders have been hitting on their sell button against that level of support. Aside from that, I am also seeing that we might have a confluence point here. A confluence point with those lower swings right there. Let's just draw a line to see what we get. They are quite insignificant, but it seems they are coming together at that particular level. That bounce is one, both coming around here. This previous level right there coming around here. So the euro against the American dollar is trading around support zone, confluence of support, which is a powerful level. You should not be hitting on your sell button. For the euro against the American dollar, the best directional buyers at this point, in fact for this week, we should be looking for long opportunities. All right, that should be our concentration for this pair for this week. All stop losses, of course, must be hidden below. If price breaks below, then that level has failed and all stop losses will be taken out of the way, and that trade will become a loser. Okay, but for now, price is bouncing off support, and the best directional buyers is to keep looking for buy opportunities. All right, in the daily time frame, let's draw our levels because we are not really specific with these ones. In the daily time frame, let me just skip their properties in the very long term. I don't want confusion here. Let me get the precise levels in the daily time frame. All right, now in the daily time frame, we have seen price made a nice run to the downside, nice push, but it seems it is not going any way again downwards. It is now making some sideways behavior. So we are going to mark those levels: support. This seems to be resistance there, so we are just going to mark those levels. Okay, support here. It's a daily time frame, so I'm going to use that red. Resistance there. Okay, now in the weekly time frame, we are aware price should be pushing to the upside in this pair. In the daily time frame, we are in a range. So even if you are looking for buy opportunities, you must want to cash out some profit before price hits that area there as resistance. Okay, right now price is in the middle of that range. It still has the potential to push to the upside, but it will be best If you are trading in this pair, the best point to look for your entries, you always want to buy around support zone, and you always want to sell around resistance zone. But in this case that we are seeing that price is bouncing off the weekly time frame, we will not be risking taking short entries of this level. We will be concentrating in buy opportunities. That means anytime price comes back down to this area, we should be looking for long opportunities, because in the weekly time frame, price is trading around support zone, this level here, that one, right? Okay, all right, so that's it. In the 4 hours time frame, we are not supposed to go below the 4 hours time frame. 4 hours time frame, let's draw this level here. That's resistance. Change that to 4 hours. Okay, even though the directional bias is more to the upside, it is not ideal to buy against resistance levels. Okay, at best you want price to make some pushes somewhere around in here before you look for your buy entries. Okay, all right, next pair, American dollar against the Canadian dollar. We did discuss this pair extensively last week. We were involved in this pair. We actually cash out our profit quite early. This pair was in a nice move in the monthly time frame before things began to go sideways. For these many months, it's been extremely hard for forex traders to trade the market very profitably, because price has been very sideways. You might want to draw in this trend line. It's quite difficult. All right, it's leaning too much, so we are not going to be paying attention to this aspect of the chart anymore. All right, we'll be looking at this aspect here of the chart. That is where we'll be paying our attention on to see what has been going on. In the monthly time frame, you could have this as a channel. You could have that as a channel. All right, let me draw that level. Just connect that lows. Change this. And possibly this one. But the upper leg has some problems. Let's just keep it here. Okay, you see that price has been swinging up and down, and right now it is around resistance level. American dollar against the Canadian dollar. That means on our notepad, no buy. All right, there is no buying around that area. You will be buying against long-term levels of resistance. In the weekly time frame, let's analyze this. Weekly time frame, also look at this. We got this area here acting as former support, now resistance. Okay, and price is coming back down again. Let's keep a line there. Let me look at that level. Okay, not a precise level, so we will not keep that, but look at this again. Touch there, touch here, touch here, touch there. So let's connect all of that. All right, change that color. Okay, then we have another one. Bounce there, bounce here, bounce here. This seems to be a fake breakout, so we'll just keep that level right here. Right, the market has just opened. All right, this is a channel. Price has been swinging up and down as well, and that is a level of resistance. It's a no buy area. That doesn't mean you should click on your sell button straight on. I am just only letting you know that is a level of resistance. So like I said, this is not a signal service yet. It's just an educational platform for all of us at this point, except if you are a member of our signal service platform. All right, so resistance right there. Last week we were short. In the daily time frame, we had our entry right somewhere there, but we cashed out too early. Price just pushed to the downside without us being there, which was quite painful. All right, in the daily time frame, what do we see? Support, so we need to keep a trend line at that particular level. Just keep that one, change that color to red. All right, now we know price is bouncing off the long-term level of resistance. What we need to do is to always wait for pullbacks to search for short opportunities. If price makes pullback somewhere in the air, we could be looking for short opportunities in the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. For now, if we take any short entry here, that might be a very late entry, and we don't want to make late entries. Okay, we always want to see pullbacks before taking trades on any pair. All right, so that's it. Bearish Australian dollar against the American dollar, monthly time frame for so many months. See what's been going on. See that for so many months, it's been extremely hard for forex traders, especially with this low volume market. Looking backwards, you can see these are heavy momentum months. Entered into a little sideways again, heavy momentum months. But for some months now, it's been hard for us to find that usual momentum. So let's draw our key levels of support and resistance. I'm not going to be concentrating on this now. All right, we have this. You can clearly see that. You can clearly see what's been going on there. So let's draw that level. It's been broken. Also draw this one. It's a channel. Okay. Now this one here has been broken, but the breakout candles are really poor. Little candles right there. We always want to see full body weight, full heavy body candle breaking through levels of support and resistance. Those type of candles, those momentum bars, not these ones here. Okay, although it's been broken, but we need to be careful because the breakout is really not good enough. All right, in the weekly time frame, what do we have? Weekly time frame here, price is facing some serious exhaustion there. Key level of support was it retested? Let's keep a line there. Level of support. Okay, change that to blue. All right, so price is trading around support, right? That support there, that means no short zone. We should not be hitting on our sell buttons there. Last week candle close bang off that level of support. What do we get? In fact, it seems we got two dojis of that level, so we should be careful going short at this point. At this point, even though it's still looking bearish, but be very hesitant because we might find price push up again for this week. All right, so hint of a reversal there. In the daily time frame, we could have this trend line. Just keep those levels. Very soon price is going to hit those levels. I'll be finding valid trading opportunities. Nothing else. This one here, I am really not going to keep it. It is too old right now, so I will not be keeping that one here. Price is reacting off weekly level of support in this pair, so we should be paying more attention, looking for long opportunities from that point. 4 hours time frame, let's just keep this level here. That is resistance. Okay, nothing more. We'll keep monitoring price to see if we find valid entries, but now nothing more. It is reacting off support levels. Next pair, the sterling pounds against the American dollar. Again, for so many months, low volume market. I think this was Brexit. You should remember Brexit. That was Brexit right here. After that, what else? We started going sideways in the monthly time frame. So let's just keep a level here. Keep that level, change it to pink. Right, in the weekly time frame, let's see this. I'm just trying to identify the directional bias for this week. Now, this rising trend line gave way. We got the breakout there, pullback, but in very low market volume, extremely low market volume. We are seeing this swing here. All right, that's a support, and it seems it has been retested. So let's keep a line there. Weekly, let me zoom in this chart. All right, that support there now retested, and we got that reversal. Can you see that candle? This is another hint that, hey, be careful going short. Although price is trapped between support here and resistance, but be careful hitting on your sell button, at least for this week, because price might be pushing to the upside. Okay, all right, daily time frame. What can we see in the daily time frame? Quite hard, but I'm just going to mark this area as resistance. Again, directional hint, it's saying to the upside. You can see it seems the American dollar is going to be losing some strength, but again, FOMC and NFP will determine that. We are only price action traders, so we'll be reading exactly what's going on in the chart to find possible entries. All right, that's it. Bouncing off support, be careful going short. The next one is the American dollar against the Japanese yen. This is the monthly time frame. Well, I am still holding a possible trade here. Okay, for those of you in the live trading room, you know the trade I am talking about. We have a trend line. Okay, that's the trend line here. The levels to the downside are still not clear enough, but we have what looks more again here like a channel, maybe in the weekly time frame. Then this area here has been holding price as support. We might also have a possible flat bottom triangle if price comes back down to retest that level of support. So remove sideways behavior in form of a flat bottom triangle. We might find a possible breakout pullback, then heavy reversal to the downside. But for now, we are dealing with this level of resistance. That means be careful going long against long-term levels of resistance. All right, let's see the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, what do we have in here? Quite difficult to draw levels. Let's keep this one. Weekly support. Okay, we can also keep this one as some form of weekly resistance. Okay, that's it. Resistance, support. Let's see what's going to happen around that area. Then daily time frame. This was what I was looking at. I was looking at a possible channel, but it seems this trend line is still holding price. with that bounce, this bounce, and this bounce. Well, you can see that price is trading around resistance zone. So we should be very careful hitting on our buy button against that level of resistance. At any rate, we want price to move out of this box for before we keep searching for trading opportunities. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the American dollar against the Japanese yen. Again, this is resistance zone. We should be careful going long. If you must go long, wait for the breakout, then look for pullbacks for continuation move. For now, it is still trading around resistance zone. And finally, the American dollar against the Swiss franc. In the monthly time frame, we have this level here playing out as key level of resistance. All right, and to the downside, we can keep this one, or let's see this trend line, which has been broken. Take that or not. We can keep this area here. Okay, let me see. So again, for several months, price has been flat, so it will be extremely hard for forex traders to trade profitably there. We've just been trying to manage the market. In the weekly time frame, resistance there. This is a clean, solid resistance. All right, you can see how price went banked up that weekly level, came back down. There was also a trend line, this trend line that acted as support right there. Okay, now we have a range here in the daily time frame. Let's see that. You should not forget in the weekly time frame that price is trading around key resistance area. All right, so be very hesitant going long. Before you go long, you want price to cruise through that level of resistance. From here on is where you want to begin to search for long entries. For now, if you don't see any short opportunity, just avoid the chart. If you see long opportunities, wait for price to pull through before you begin to join that long trade. All right, in the daily time frame, we had a trend line from this low to that high. I change this to right, where price was respecting that level and eventually got broken with very ugly breakout candles there. Then we got the pullback to retest that level, which acted as resistance there. Former levels of support there, support here as well, acted as resistance. You can see how price retested that level and came back down. Well, the bias is still to the downside, but right now we might be having an internal flat top triangle. I hope you will be seeing that. Okay, that's the top. This is the flat line. All right, so price again has entered into a congestion here, where this is acting as resistance and this one is acting as support. Okay, all right, so that's it. That's basically it. Well, folks, the market is extremely in a very bad shape. You have to be careful if you trade anyhow. This market condition, it's not really gonna be easy, except if I don't know, it's a very bad market condition, but we need to give price time. There are times when those good market conditions will set in and we will begin to trade extremely profitable. Okay, we will trade making money left, right, and center. But for now, the market conditions are not in our favor, but we must be patient and be careful at the same time. Okay, for those of you who are members of the Signal service, if there is any entry, you will get that in the Telegram channel, showing you our entries, stop losses, and profit taking target levels. Okay, thanks for being here. We'll talk again before the London market opens tomorrow morning. But if you have questions, contributions, please feel absolutely free to ask them in the live chat window or in the YouTube live chat window as well. We'll be there to respond to them. Once again, thanks for being here. We'll talk again. Bye bye.